Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into the AFV factory. It's been a couple of weeks since my last post, so I thought I ought to bring you up to speed on where I was with the E-75 from Model Collect and other bits and pieces that I've been doing. So essentially now the E-75 is ready for paint. All the construction is being done with the exception of the turret. The reason that I haven't done the turret as yet is because I'm hoping to get some additional armour for it. There's a guy in Germany who's got a little company called Model Ray, and he mostly deals with boats, but he also does a few bits and pieces for various scale armour. Tracks which I've had, and these are printed in 3D resin. Tracks which I've had a set, and they're really good. And he also does ammunition for tanks, and also this new turret armour. And he currently does some for the King Tiger. But I had a bit of a chat with him the other day, and he's going to sort out a set for this E-75, hence why the turret isn't constructed. But to be fair, it's only got I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe 6 parts to it, and that's it. So it's a very quick construction when and if these bits and pieces arrive. So I've got the all the bits now are on the upper hull. All the texturing has been done, you can see there, and I've used everything from the kit. The only aftermarket item is the photo etch grills for the engine, because the kit doesn't have any, but otherwise everything's on there that's stock. So the other thing that I have been working on is this little E-25. The reason it's been propped up is because I've just been gluing the barrel on. So this was a Father's Day gift, and it was a fairly low, or very low parts count on it. I've wanted to do one for ages, so I just thought, yeah, let's get this done as well, and then I can do a paint comparison between the two. I'm going to do completely different camouflage on them, and yeah, I thought it would be nice to do them side by side, obviously both e-vehicles, and yeah, so this was a lovely little kit to put together. Little bit of photo etch for the mud guards at the front and the rear, and then for the grills, otherwise it's all plastic. It did come with a choice of tracks, plastic and these single link ones, and I did initially go for the plastic ones, but they just would not glue together or hold together, so I did these single link, and to be honest, they were really easy. There's not many of them, again, per side, so yeah, it was actually very straightforward, and quite a bit of fun to do. So yeah, so I'm good. As I said, I'm going to paint them side by side. The E-75 I'm going to do in an octopus camo. I don't know how many vehicles were ever done in it. I know there's a photograph of one at the end of the war, King Tiger, with the octopus camo. So I thought it would probably be quite a realistic step to say that if the E-75 had come out, it may well have also come out with the octopus camo. It's not one I've ever done before, so I wanted to have a bash at it, and I think it looks pretty cool. So I'm going to be using these AK International 1946 Panzer colours on there. So you've got 4. So obviously I will choose, I'll use the Dunkel Gleb, and then I will choose one of the greens to do those with. The barrel is going to be just left in red primer, and the muzzle brake will be green, and the mantlet will be whatever fits in with the camo. So I'm looking for, I've not used these before, these are their 3rd generation paints. I've always liked using AK paints, so I'm be interested to see how they come out. I've had this little set for a fair few months now, just waiting for something to use it on. So that's going to be this. The E-25, I'm going to go for a sort of an urban camo, blocky, sort of squares, rectangles. Anyone who's familiar with the British Berlin Brigade chieftains, from the 1960s, will sort of have an idea of what I'm going to go with. So I just pulled a little selection of old Vallejo paints that I have, and what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to mix these to get a mix of these two. So I've got London Grey and Sky Blue as a base colour, and then the blocks I'll make up out of these. So I've got that burnt cad, tan yellow, and Middlestone. I may well change my mind, to be honest, but those are the sort of ones I've picked out for it, and we'll see how I get on with those. These paints are, some of these paints are quite old, few years, several years in some cases. So I've bought myself a few bits of extra kit. One being this paint shaker. I've wanted one for a while, looked at a few different versions, but this one seemed pretty good, and I tried it out. You get straps that hold the paint in there, various size straps depending on the size of the bottle of paint, and as many of you know, if the paint's been sitting for a long time, or the bottle's quite full and you're not able to get the liquid inside to move a lot, it's very, very difficult to get the paint to where it should be for brushing or spraying. So yeah, this was, again, as I said, this was something I've wanted for quite a while, just to bring the paint back to being as good as it can possibly be. And again, as I just said regarding these old paints, some of them are several years old, and they're absolutely fine. They don't degrade, or they don't seem to, but they all would benefit from a big shaking up. And the other thing I bought, which again I've wanted for a long time, is a new airbrush, and actually a decent airbrush for once. I've always only ever used the Chinese £20-25 brushes you can get off of eBay. They've always been good. I've never had really any problems with them, but I've always wondered, how good is a better branded airbrush. So I haven't tried this yet, but this is what I will be using from now on. This, I'm assuming you pronounce it as Pash. Please let me know if that's incorrect, but it had good write-ups. It seemed to be a well-liked company, so yeah, so I'm going to switch my old brushes around and have one just for putting primer on and large areas of one coat, one colour paint, and then I will use this for detail work and everything like that. So yeah, I'm excited to have this, and I'm excited to be giving it a go. So watch this space. So the other thing that I was going to have a chat with you about, I've been looking at my own models, stuff that I've built in the past, and other people's stuff, as you do on Facebook and Instagram, etc. And there's a few things that sort of if you get wrong, it can really affect the overall visual of the tank or the vehicle. One of those being quite a big one is the exhaust pipes. So I have my own way of doing them, as I'm sure a lot of you do, but I quite like to improve on it. So I watched a few YouTube videos, Mr. Night Shifter in particular, and sort of was kind of really impressed with the work that he does, as everybody is. So I've decided, as well as doing it's not going to be a tutorial from me, but it will just be the stages I go through with the weathering, with the painting, and then with the weathering on these two vehicles, because they're going to be done quite differently. You'll get hopefully you'll get two for the price of one, and I will also be doing a step by step on the exhaust. So this is the exhaust from the E-25, and these are the exhausts from the E-75. So these ones I've just gone over with the Tamiya white top cement and stippled them with a brush to give them some texture, and I shall also do that with this. And yeah, then I shall just go, and it'll be hopefully it'll be interesting, and it'll be a bit of an experiment for me, and to see where it goes, and hopefully I can get a better result. Obviously everybody wants to be sort of improving on the work that they do, so you know, and I'm no different to that. So I can't think of anything else that's been going on. Obviously my main focus has been putting the E-25 together. So yeah, next stage will be painting, and I'll catch up with you when I'm ready to start doing that. So cheers for now, catch up with you soon.